Hello everyone and welcome to This Week at Ramanant. This week started off fairly uneventful but quickly escalated during the weekend. Hailed started the week off strong by posting something that was actually pretty funny for once. Triss continued to send funny things to the genitals chat, which brings a tear to the eye of even the most apathetic members. Nothing happened for the rest of the week until the Root of Nightmares Day one raid launched for Destiny 2. Everyone was pretty excited for this raid to drop, except Mr. Cool, who lamented the fact that he'd have to stay awake for longer than 8 hours if he wanted to be there when they finished. Apollo was excited to see how this raid would progress the story introduced in Lightfall. This was, to put it frankly, unrealistic. AEA just barely made it out of the hospital in time for the raid, which was a growing concern amongst the clan as a dead clan member wouldn't be much help to the team. Flea didn't realize that the Day 1 raid was happened until the day before when he said, "What? The raid comes out at reset tomorrow? I have a test to take an hour before that," as if he didn't have 6 fucking months in advance to plan this out. Half the clan was expecting him to say, "What? You need Lightfall to play the raid?" Or, "What? You need a computer to join?" Seriously. Flea ended up showing around 15 minutes before the raid dropped, which would have been annoying if 8AA didn't randomly leave literally 30 seconds till. Regardless, the time was now. Apollo chugged his pre-workout, Mr. Cool got his blanket, Triss spun his hat, Flea failed his test, 8AA dressed his wounds, and Hailed drank some piss. Everyone was ready. In the first hour, everyone was surprised at how well they were doing. They had picked up on some mechanics even before Redeem had. Eventually, Hailed realized the raid was going to well and decided to start bitching about how long it was taking to start encounters. When confronted on how retarded this was, he decided to start mocking Mr. Cool for asking him to have some fucking common sense. It didn't take long for Mr. Cool, who was on 1 hour of sleep, to start going gorillas, breaking one of the many rules of the Ramanant Discord. Apollo, fed up with this breach of contract, decided to take Hailed's side for no other reason than it being kind of funny to watch Mr. Cool fucking fume. When Hailed started to run out of things to bitch about, he remarked that Mr. Cool was wasting damage by not running a hothead just so he could run funnel web, despite the fact that Mr. Cool was topping damage nearly every attempt. He argued this was due to him using Wither Horde, as if he wouldn't just be running Izanagi's for roughly the same damage output anyways. We shouldn't put this past him, though, as Hailed has always been one of those idiots who doubts volatile rounds simply because everyone else likes it. The team ended up wasting an hour or so at the final boss because Hailed insisted that a core mechanic Mr. Cool found on Reddit didn't actually exist. His source to back this up was Salty, who is known for speaking confidently about shit he knows literally nothing about. Hailed was sure that Mr. Cool was just too slow, as if Hailed wasn't a solar warlock running a sword on the left side, which is basically a cakewalk with the easiest rotation imaginable, while Mr. Cool was a hunter and had Triss for Ad Clear, who was just too busy having fun to actually kill anything, on right, which has a rotation that feels like trying to unlock one of those old shitty Android phones. Salty and Apollo agreed with Hailed, for no other reason than they thought it would be funny. Eventually the team cleared the raid and everyone forgave Hailed, except Mr. Cool, who is a little bitch who won't just accept that Hailed is a rotten prude whose entire personality is centered around annoying people, and we just have to accept that because it's normal for him, I guess. Moving on from the Day 1 raid, the week was capped off by Mr. Cool beating Apollo in a 1v1 for the first time ever. Apollo insisted this is because glaives are broken, and are essentially the same as swapping with Lemonarch, as if Lemonarch doesn't have hit scan, infinite range, does more damage, infinite ammo, damage over time, has higher handling, and an intrinsic lightweight bonus. Meanwhile, Mr. Cool's build could have been completely and utterly countered if Apollo would have just stopped trying to shotgun him. When Mr. Cool brought this up to Apollo, he simply responded with, "It's the same," and went on about how he was consistent or something. Other than Triss sending a video of a frog being cut in half, Enrique's soul being consumed by the Observer and the giant eyeball growing from the ceiling in Apollo's room, that's about all that happened. Come back next week when Hailed is put on 2 weeks of paid leave after shooting an unarmed child to death for calling him buddy.